I'm Shabana Ali from Shastrinagar MPS Secondary English School. In last session, we have seen the different life processes and different functions in our body. Now, today we will continue. We have started with Science and Technology Part 2, second chapter, that is Life Processes in Living Organism Part 1. Okay, so 2 sessions we have done for this chapter. Now, today is the third session. We will see the next topic in this. So today we will focus students on living organisms and energy production. Means for everything, for any kind of work, for any kind of function, we required energy. So we have seen before also, we eat food to get energy. From food, different types of foods, we get different types of nutrients. And we have seen already the 6 different types of nutrients: carbohydrate, fats, proteins, fibers, minerals, vitamins, etc. Okay, so from that nutrients we get energy. So how that energy is produced and how we are using it in that energy. So mainly we are going to focus on the energy production in living organism. Now see here students, all living organisms perform respiration. You know that mainly we are focusing here on the respiration. Mainly all living organisms perform respiration. In any kind of living organisms, be it they are animals or they are plants, they respire. Animals, any kind of animals, human beings, unicellular animals, amoeba. So every kind of animal, human being, living beings, they are doing the respiration. Now so here you will see there are 2 types of respiration in our body: body level respiration and cellular level respiration. So remember these two. There are 2 types of respiration, 2 ways of respiration: body level and cellular level. And I hope you have studied about this body level respiration. See here, by this diagram, by seeing this diagram, you can understand. I will explain here that the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide is continuously happening between our body and surrounding, isn't it? Every time we are taking oxygen and we remove carbon dioxide from our nose. So we take oxygen from our nostrils, nasal cavity, it goes to the larynx, and that oxygen from larynx, it goes to the trachea. Okay, you can see the windpipe. I have told you on last session, the windpipe, that is a trachea. So oxygen from nostril, nasal cavity, goes to the larynx, and then it goes to the trachea, and from the trachea it goes to the bronchi, and further under the bronchi into the bronchioles, and inside the bronchioles there are small alveoli are there. Alveoli, you can see on the left hand side the alveoli. So inside the bronchioles there are smaller part, that is the alveoli, and in alveoli there are blood vessels are there, bloods are present. So whatever oxygen we are taking, it goes to that blood into the alveoli, and it reacts with that blood, and the carbon dioxide is released out from the alveoli, and that carbon dioxide back again released from the nostril. So I hope you have studied before about this body level respiration, from where the oxygen goes from the nose, nostrils to the larynx, then it goes to the trachea, and then to the after trachea it goes to the bronchi, and under the bronchi there are bronchioles, and bronchioles, inside that there are small alveoli are there, and inside that alveoli with the blood, the oxygen what we take in, it mixed with the blood, and the carbon dioxide is released out back from the nostril. Okay, I hope you have understood this body level respiration. Now students, we will see next. Okay, so what happens in this? When we take oxygen, as I told you before also, that with the food we required, with the energy we required oxygen also. So whatever food we are taking, carbohydrate, that is C6H12O6. I told before also that C6H12O6 is the glucose. Whatever carbohydrate, whatever food we are eating, we get carbohydrate, and carbohydrate is nothing but the glucose. So that glucose C6H12O6 They are connected by the single bond that is called as a covalent bond. So this glucose molecule mixes with the oxygen, and that oxygen mixing with the glucose, it react with each other and it gives out carbon dioxide, and it forms a water molecule, and plus we get energy. So at this body level respiration, where we take oxygen, it mixes with the glucose and they react with each other, it forms carbon dioxide which we take out, exhale out from the nose. And what else is formed? Water molecule is formed and energy is formed for our body. This is the body level respiration. Next we will see, for energy, the cellular level respiration, energy is stored in the form of ATP. ATP is the adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate ATP is the package of energy. Okay, it is a packet of energy which is there in the mitochondria. So in cellular level respiration, energy we get from the cell level. So here you can see, you have studied also before that different kind of food, from where you get carbohydrates, milk, fruits, jaggery, sugar cane, honey, vegetables, potatoes, sweet meat and cereals. From these all materials, food materials, we get carbohydrates. And how we get energy from these carbohydrates, which are used for the different purposes, for any kind of work, for reading, for writing, for planting, for cycling, for playing, for any kind of work we require energy. So from this carbohydrate, how our body produce energy, that we will see now. Now cellular respiration occurs into the cell level, and this glucose is stored in the mitochondria. Whatever we eat, carbohydrate, that stored in the form of glucose. So that glucose is stored in each cell into the mitochondria. Now cellular respiration, if we will see, that is of two type. Cellular respiration is of two type: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. And aerobic respiration means in presence of oxygen, and anaerobic respiration means in absence of oxygen. Now what is important step, this is very important, can come for your exam. What is glycolysis? Explain Krebs cycle, explain ETC cycle or ETC reaction. ETC means electron transfer chain reaction. So this aerobic respiration, under the aerobic respiration, the glucose is oxidized. Glucose mixing with oxygen, it is oxidized in 3 steps. First step is glycolysis. Second step is Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle is also called as the TCA cycle, tricarboxylic acid cycle. Okay, that we will see in the next slide, students. So first 3, remember this simple name first, that glucose is oxidized. Glucose is the stored energy what we are taking when we do any kind of work, any kind of function, we required energy. So that energy is taken out from the cell, that is stored in form of glucose. So how this glucose is used for different functions? So these are the steps how this glucose is oxidized. So 3 steps are glycolysis, Krebs cycle and electron transfer chain reaction. See, we will see one by one, this is all next. Now very important that you have to remember glycolysis. The first step, glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell. There are different cell organelles are there: mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum. But you have to remember that glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell. And what are the steps included in this glycolysis? So this glucose are converted into pyruvic acid. See, in the starting glucose, at the last you can see 2 pyruvic acid it formed. So in the glycolysis there are 10 steps. You can see in the slide, students, there are 10 steps in the glycolysis. So glucose is oxidized to pyruvic acid. These all steps, 10 steps are included into the glycolysis. So what happened in this? See the reaction, C6H12O6 plus 2 ATP. So this glucose, whatever stored in your body, in your cell, in your body, glucose, it takes 2 ATP, 2 ATP molecule plus 2 NAD, nicotinamide, okay, nicotinamide diphosphate. So this glucose plus 2 ATP is used and 2 molecules of NAD is used, and they are reacting with each other to form 2 pyruvic acid plus 2 NADH2 plus 4 ATP is released. So what is NADH2? What is NAD? So this NAD and NADH2 are the coenzymes, okay, which are helping in reaction. Okay, that we will see in the next slide also. So this NAD, NADH2, these are the coenzyme. That we will see what do we mean by the coenzyme. So C6H12O6, you must be remember, this is a glucose. Glucose is utilizing 2 ATP molecules and coenzyme 2 NAD, and it gives 2 pyruvic acid plus 2 NADH2 plus 4 ATP, and that pyruvic acid is reacting with acetyl coenzyme and another coenzyme, that is NAD, and it gives 2 acetyl coenzyme plus carbon dioxide is released and plus 2 NADH2 is released. So this reaction you have to remember, and these steps, 10 steps, that in glycolysis glucose converted into 2 pyruvic acid by these 10 steps. Okay students, now see what is their energy rich molecule. So this 2 pyruvic acid, see what is ATP. Now see what is ATP, whatever we have seen in the reaction, ATP. So ATP is the adenosine triphosphate. So what is included in this ATP? ATP is the energy rich molecule. ATP is nothing but the energy what you use for your different functions. So ATP, what is, there are 3 things in the ATP. Adenine, that is the nitrogenous compound. Next is pentose sugar, that is ribose, that is called as ribose. Next is a phosphate group. There are 3 phosphates are there. So in one ATP there are adenine, means nitrogenous group. Next pentose sugar means ribose group, and third is the phosphate group is present in one ATP molecule. And whenever you required energy, you can see here the 1-phosphate group breakdown. When you use the stored energy ATP, so one by one phosphate groups break down to give you the energy. Okay, so you can see here 1 phosphate group is breakdown and it gives you the energy, and triphosphate become diphosphate. There were 3 phosphate, so triphosphate. Now 1 ATP it is giving to you for the energy, so it becomes diphosphate. So ATP change into ADP, means adenosine diphosphate. So like this, one by one the ATP gives one by one phosphate for your any kind of work. You utilize your energy. So ATP is also called as the energy currency. I told you before also that mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of the cell. Means it provides you the cell, every cell the power, the energy to do any kind of work. So ATP is called as the energy currency, which is present in the mitochondria of the cell. Now this is the NAD and NADH2. We have seen in the reaction earlier, NAD and NADH2, nicotinamide, adenine, dinucleotide. These are the coenzyme. Coenzyme individually they does not react. Coenzymes are the small molecules which cannot function alone but can be reused several times when paired with an enzyme. So these are the coenzyme, NAD and NADH2. These are the coenzyme and they cannot function alone. They require enzyme for functioning. Okay, so you can see substrate and coenzyme. So these are reacting with with the help of enzyme, and then only it helps in the reaction. So there are more examples are given of coenzymes: FAD or FADH2, that is flavin adenine dinucleotide. FMN means flavin mononucleotide. NADP means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. So these are the different examples for coenzyme. Vitamin riboflavin, see in the starting, the vitamin riboflavin, that is B2, and vitamin nicotinamide, that is B3, are necessary for the production of FADH2 and NADH2 coenzymes. So these are the vitamins which we required for the production of coenzymes. Now here next is about, first we have seen the glycolysis, where from glucose it is oxidized to form 2-pyruvic acid and acetyl coenzyme, and whatever acetyl coenzyme has produced in the glycolysis, that is used in the Krebs cycle. Now Krebs cycle is also called as the TCA cycle, that is tricarboxylic acid cycle. Okay, so what happened in this tricarboxylic acid cycle? The acetyl coenzyme which were formed into the glycolysis, it is used in the Krebs cycle, and this CH3 C double bond O, you can see, that is the acetyl coenzyme which is undergoes the Krebs cycle, and it forms the, you can see, acetyl coenzyme produced in the glycolysis, that undergoes reaction, and it forms carbon dioxide and water molecule, and FADH2, NADH2, all ATP molecules are formed. Now this glycolysis which we have seen 10 step, this has given by the 3 scientists, Amden, Merhoff and Parnas. So this glycolysis can also be asked as explain EMP pathway. So glycolysis is also called as EMP pathway, in the name of, to give the tribute to these 3 scientists which have performed the experiment on muscles. For this glycolysis they have performed the function on the muscles. So this glycolysis, remember student, that it is also called as EMP pathway, means Amden, Merhoff, Parnas pathway. So in your exam this can also be asked as explain EMP pathway. So you should remember that EMP pathway is nothing but the glycolysis. And this TCA cycle or Krebs cycle, this has given the name Krebs because of the scientist name, Sir Hans Krebs. He has done the experiment for this Krebs cycle, and because of this the name is given Krebs cycle. He got also the Nobel Prize for this in 1953 for this Krebs cycle discovered. Next, after the Krebs cycle, whatever NADH2 and FADH2 has formed, it is utilized in the reaction, an electron transfer chain reaction, it is utilized, and the 3 NADH2 produce 3 ATP and FADH2 produce 2 ATP. Remember students, I am telling you again, ATP is the energy providing material. Okay, ATP is the energy which is providing you energy for your any kind of functions, any kind of work. So NADH2 produce 3 ATP, FADH2 produce 2 ATP, and water is also formed. And this electron transfer chain reaction is done in the mitochondria. The glycolysis done in the cytoplasm, and that acetyl coenzyme which is formed in the glycolysis is transferred into the mitochondria, and into the mitochondria this Krebs cycle and this electron transfer chain reaction happens in the mitochondria of each cell of living organism. Electron transfer chain reaction is operated in mitochondria only, which I have said just now. And these all are, we are talking about the aerobic respiration. Okay, so you can see here glycolysis from glucose is changed to pyruvic acid, and during this pyruvic acid formation 2 ATP are formed, and carbon dioxide is also formed during the Krebs cycle, and then it is goes to electron transfer chain reaction, and there 36 ATPs are formed. Means total there are 38 ATPs are formed during the this oxidation reaction, glycolysis reaction. Okay, total reaction whatever see we are seeing the aerobic respiration. Okay, oxidation of glucose. We take glucose for our energy production. So that glucose oxidation, during the oxidation of glucose, total 38 ATPs are formed. Now, aerobic respiration we have seen in presence of oxygen, but when there is a scarcity of oxygen, okay, when we are fasting, when we are hungry, so and when we are doing any kind of exercise, that time there are depletion of oxygen. Okay, so that time there is a anaerobic respiration is happening. See, when there is no oxygen is there, you can see here anaerobic respiration, lipids. When there is no carbohydrates, when we are fasting, okay, when we are not eating anything, so that time our body utilize lipids and proteins. Our body first of all use carbohydrate. Okay, when we eat food we get carbohydrate, we get fats, we get proteins, but our body utilize carbohydrate, and if there is a shortage of carbohydrate, our body take and they utilize lipids and proteins. Okay, so lipids, when they break down, like carbohydrate they break down, it gives glucose. Same way, when the lipid break down, it gives fatty acid, and when protein break down, it gives amino acids. Okay, so these lipids and proteins are utilized, and it forms directly acetyl coenzyme, and then acetyl coenzyme goes to the Krebs cycle, and then it goes forms the and provides energy, and water is formed and carbon dioxide is released. Okay, now see here, carbohydrate we get from fruits, vegetables, milks, etc. And next, what is given? Excess glucose is stored in liver and muscles in the form of glycogen. Remember students, this can come for your exam also for MCQs and all, or match the column. So you should remember excess glucose means whatever we are eating, carbohydrate we are getting, and carbohydrates are breakdown to give glucose, and all glucose we are not using, we are using some part, and the excess, the extra glucose is stored in liver and muscles in the form of glycogen. Okay, and when we are doing any kind of work, when body needs energy, stored glycogen is again converted into glucose and utilized. So whatever extra energy, extra glucose, it is stored in liver and muscles in the form of glycogen, and when our body required energy for any kind of function, the stored glycogen is again converted into glucose, and then it is utilized by the body. Now anaerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, we have seen the oxidation of glucose, 3 steps: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and ETC cycle, ETC reaction. Okay. In anaerobic respiration means when there is no oxygen, so there are 2 steps. Okay, for oxidation of glucose, glycolysis and fermentation. Okay. So some bacteria, some living organisms do the anaerobic respiration, that we will see. Now glycolysis, when there is no oxygen, glycolysis is happening, but there are less amount of ATP is produced. Okay, so during the glycolysis there is a glucose. From glucose it forms pyruvic acid, and that pyruvic acid is mixed and it is fermented. Okay, it is mixed with the other material, and the new products are formed, that is called as the fermentation. And many times for the fermentation, for example, yeast is the fungus. Okay, yeast is a fungus which is mixed with the pyruvic acid and it is fermented to form the alcohol. You can see the reaction. Carbohydrate means glucose undergoes the glycolysis. Glycolysis produce pyruvic acid and that pyruvic acid is mixes with the other yeast or fungus and undergoes fermentation. It forms the alcohol. So for in formation of alcohol it is used. You can see here. You can see the other one also. From this fermentation we can get vinegar also. We can get vitamins. So these are all because of anaerobic respiration. Carbohydrates undergoes glycolysis and then it forms pyruvic acid, and pyruvic acid undergoes the fermentation by using the other yeast and fungus, and it forms a new product, that is vinegar, vitamins, etc. Our blood vessels also, they doesn't have when they don't have oxygen, they produce lactic acid, that we will see now how this blood undergoes fermentation, produce lactic acid. Some living organisms, like see here, some aquatic plants, nereid, staphylococci, these are doing aerobic respiration, but sometimes when there is no oxygen they perform the anaerobic respiration also. Our body muscle also, you must be getting tired when doing the exercise, isn't it? Muscle cells perform anaerobic respiration when oxygen is temporarily depleted while performing physical exercise. So when you are doing exercise, you feel tired. Why? Because of this anaerobic respiration, there is a depletion of oxygen. Okay, so lactic acid is formed. Because of formation of that lactic acid, you feel tired. Okay, so when you are doing exercise, muscle cells perform anaerobic respiration. Remember this. You can see here the carbohydrate glycolysis, then it provides pyruvic acid, and there is a fermentation and lactic acid is produced in our muscle, and because of this lactic acid we feel tired. But again when we uh, get relaxed, when we take oxygen properly, it again comes back to the aerobic respiration. So when there is aerobic respiration, so properly our body functions on the aerobic respiration. Germinating seeds perform anaerobic respiration. This is also one example of anaerobic respiration. The germinating seed, when the soil is under the water, you can see when the soil is under the water, so the germinating seed is also performing anaerobic respiration. Okay, students, will start with the question answer round now. If time permits, we'll see the video also for this. Okay. Yes, students, which are the different types of respiration in living organisms? Different types of respiration in living organisms. Yes. Yes, students. Which are the different types of respiration in living organisms? Moinuddin.
Unmute yourself, beta.
Moinuddin, where he went? Moinuddin left.
He's not there.
Pranita. Pranita. Yes, Pranita. Hello, Pranita.
Hello. Hello.
Pranita.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
There are two types of respiration,
Hmm.
that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration.
Starting. No, no. There are two types of respiration, that is different. You are talking about cellular respiration. What you said, beta, that is the type of cellular respiration. Which are the main two types of respiration? Others.
One we can say body level respiration and second is cellular
Yes, that is the correct answer. The main two types of respiration are body level and cellular level respiration. Okay? And when the question is asked, which are the two types of cellular respiration, then you will say that aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Understood?
Okay, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, students, which are the two types of cellular respiration? Okay, done this question. Next question, glycolysis occurs in the dash of the cell.
Cytoplasm.
Glyco- Glycolysis occurs in the dash of the cell. Achal? Yes, Achal? Achal?
Ma'am,
Unmute.
natural.
In
Natural
cytoplasm
cell.
of the cell.
I am asking that glycolysis occurs in the dash of the cell. Which part of the cell? Glycolysis,
Cytoplasm.
glycolysis occurs where?
The process of
Which carbo,
glycolysis
which
occurs.
cell? Cell,
Asking answer.
neutron
Say
cell,
answer.
neutron cell,
Huh?
neutron cell.
No. Who else will answer? Rahul?
मैं सही आंसर है
Wait. Rahul, unmute yourself.
मैम सही है
Wait, wait. Others will answer, na?
Cytoplasma. Cytoplasm.
Cytoplasm. Very good. Correct. Good. Glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell. Okay. And electron transfer chain that occurs in the mitochondria of the cell. Okay. Remember this. Next question. Excess glucose is stored in the liver and muscles in the form of dash. Excess glucose is stored. Yes, students. Excess glucose is stored in the form of in the liver and muscles in the form of dash. In which form?
Glycogen. Ma'am,
Yes,
can I give answer?
glycogen. Correct answer. Good. Next question. Germinating seeds perform dash respiration if the soil is submerged in water. Germinating seed perform which type of respiration? Yes, students. Germinating seed perform which type of respiration? Wait, I will ask you, that will answer. Jusaid. Who is this Mohammad Jusaid? Idrisi. Mohammad Jusaid is Idrisi. Unmute yourself.
Hello.
Done, I think so. Glucose is stored in the form of dash. I think you have said this answer. Glucose is stored in the liver and muscles in the form of
Hello, Shabana ma'am.
yes, ma'am. Dash respiration if the soil is submerged in water. Khushi, answer please.
Ma'am, anaerobic respiration.
Yes, germinating seeds perform anaerobic respiration if the soil is submerged in water. Okay, student, I will show you the video now.
Living organisms and energy production. All living organisms perform respiration. But do you know what exactly happens during respiration? Come, let us do a detailed study of this life process, 2 levels, body level and cellular level. We know that at body level, oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged between body and surrounding. When diaphragm contracts and moves downwards, air is taken into the body through the nostrils. This air enters the nasal cavity and then through the larynx moves into the trachea. The air further passes into the 2 bronchi in each lung and further into the bronchioles. Alveoli are present at the end of the bronchioles. Air from the bronchioles enter the alveoli. Oxygen present in the air is taken up by blood present in the alveolar blood vessels, and carbon dioxide is released in the alveoli, which is thrown out from the body when we exhale air. When oxygen is taken inside the body, it is utilized to oxidize glucose molecules into carbon dioxide, and water and energy is released. Each glucose molecule that is oxidized during this process is made up of 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. All these atoms are joined together with covalent bonds. Come, after this brief description about cellular respiration, let us now proceed to learn about its mechanism. Cellular respiration. Carbohydrates of the food that we consume every day are mainly utilized for the production of energy required for our daily need. This energy is obtained in the form of ATP. For this purpose, glucose, a type of carbohydrate, is oxidized step by step in the cells. This is called cellular respiration. Cellular respiration occurs among the living organisms by 2 methods: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Come, let's learn about each method one by one. Aerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, glucose is oxidized in 3 steps: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport. The process of glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm of a cell. A molecule of glucose is oxidized step by step, in total 10 steps in this process. After glycolysis, one molecule of glucose utilizing 2 molecules of ATP and NAD gives 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, 2 molecules of NADH2, 2 molecules of water, and 4 molecules of ATP. By using 2 molecules of coenzyme A and 2 molecules of NAD, the pyruvic acid molecules formed during glycolysis is converted into 2 molecules of acetyl coenzyme A, 2 molecules of carbon dioxide, and 2 molecules of NADH2. ATP. ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, contains a nitrogenous compound, adenine, a pentose sugar, ribose, and 3 phosphate groups. It is an energy-rich molecule, and energy is stored in the bonds by which phosphate groups are attached to each other. These ATP molecules are stored in the cell. Whenever cell needs energy, one phosphate bond breaks and energy is released. In this process, ATP gets converted into ADP, or adenosine diphosphate. Hence, ATP is called as energy currency of the cell. Always remember, NAD or NADH2, that is, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is a coenzyme. Coenzymes are small molecules which cannot function alone but can be reused several times when paired with an enzyme. These are made in the cells and help in cellular respiration. Some other coenzymes are FAD or FADH2, that is FADH2, and NAD, the Krebs cycle. Both molecules of acetyl coenzyme A, formed in the glycolysis in the cytoplasm of cell, now enter in the mitochondria. Acetyl part of acetyl coenzyme A is completely oxidized in this cyclical process, and carbon dioxide, water, NADH2, FADH2 are formed and energy is released. Remember, acetyl coenzyme A oxidized in the Krebs cycle are derived from pyruvic acid, which are derived from glucose. Thus, it means that the oxidation of acetyl coenzyme A is nothing but the oxidation of glucose. Introduction to scientists. The process of glycolysis was discovered by 3 scientists, Gustav Emden, Otto Meyerhoff, and Jacob Pernes, along with their colleagues. For this purpose, they performed experiments on muscles. Hence, glycolysis is also called as Emden-Meyerhoff-Pernes pathway, or EMP pathway. The cyclical reactions of tricarboxylic acid cycle were discovered by Sir Hans Krebs. Hence, this cyclical process is also called as Krebs cycle. For this discovery, he was awarded Nobel Prize in 1953. Come, let us now learn about the third step involved in aerobic respiration. Electron transfer chain reaction. Molecules of NADH2 and FADH2 formed during glycolysis and Krebs cycle now participate in electron transfer chain reaction. In this reaction, each NADH2 molecule produces 3 ATP molecules, and each FADH2 molecule produces 2 ATP molecules. Besides ATP, water molecules are also produced. Electron transfer chain reaction is operated in mitochondria only. Thus, in aerobic respiration, when a glucose molecule is completely oxidized, carbon dioxide and water are produced along with energy. If there is insufficient amount of carbohydrates in body due to exceptional conditions like fasting or hunger, then the body uses lipids and proteins for energy production. Lipids are converted into fatty acids, whereas proteins are converted into amino acids. Fatty acids and amino acids both are then converted into acetyl coenzyme A, and energy is obtained through complete oxidation of acetyl coenzyme A by the process of Krebs cycle in mitochondria. If we eat more carbohydrates than required by the body, then excess glucose is stored in liver and muscles in the form of glycogen. When the body needs energy, this stored glycogen is again Let us now learn about anaerobic respiration, in which oxygen is not used. Anaerobic respiration. Some living organisms can survive without oxygen. For example, anaerobic bacteria. Such living organisms have to follow anaerobic respiration for energy production. Fermentation are two anaerobic and pipes. This process is called fermentation. Yeast, a type of fungus, carries out fermentation. Various microbes after fermentation convert pyruvic acid into different products such as vinegar, vitamins, etc. Red blood cell or erythrocyte does not have mitochondria. Therefore, RBC entirely depend on anaerobic respiration for energy production, and lactic acid is produced by fermentation. Similarly, lactobacilli, a bacteria present in milk after fermentation, turn pyruvic acid into lactic acid. Some higher plants, animals, and aerobic microorganisms sometimes also perform anaerobic respiration instead of aerobic respiration if there is depletion in oxygen level in the surrounding. For example, our muscle cells perform anaerobic respiration when oxygen is temporarily depleted while performing physical exercise. Due to this, less amount of energy is produced in our body, and thus formed lactic acid accumulates in muscles, due to which we feel tired. When oxygen levels return to normal, muscle cells again return to aerobic respiration. Germinating seeds also perform anaerobic respiration if the soil is submerged under water. From this, we can conclude that aerobic respiration is the cellular respiration, which involves complete oxidation of glucose, and mitochondria is the cell organelle necessary for the complete oxidation of glucose. Learning about the energy production from carbohydrates, let us now learn about the energy production from other nutrients.
Okay, students, I think you have understood this much. Next session will be taken by some other teacher next time. Okay, thank you so much for attending the lecture. Thank you, ma'am, for your